Kind of get started. A little recap of last week. There were a lot of good things in that game. I thought there were things that we built on from game one. Uh, we still are getting a very good effort. We're still trying to be physical. Our tackling, there was a little bit late in the game. Some of it was with our younger guys, was not as crisp as it needed it to be, and so we've addressed that. Obviously, that's a work in progress. As far as that game in its totality, in a positive note, it was a win. It was a very solid win in terms of the scoreboard, but that's not the way we look at it. We look at it as our execution and how we perform on each and every play. And the majority of the plays were played like an Auburn Tiger defense. Now, we had a couple of plays, and obviously I think you know which ones I'm talking about, in which it was totally unacceptable. If it's something that is hard, that we haven't covered, then that's on us. But if we worked on it, then we're expected to execute it. And that's the thing, we've got to get to the point to where we are meticulous with our execution on things like that are relatively routine football plays. We cannot let them get us in situations where we have an explosive play. Now, we've been very limited in the explosive plays in the run game, extremely limited. And in the passing game, we've not let them knock the top off the coverage, but those two the other night was pretty close to it. That's about as close as you can get without completely saying it was knocked off. And, that's unacceptable. We've worked on that this week. We've got to get that corrected. As far as this week, this is a monumental challenge because it's in the SEC, first SEC game. They have a very, very good quarterback who has played in big games, albeit at another school. I guess the UCLA game was a big game for A&M, their opener, but he's got more than that under his belt. He's a very efficient passer and a very efficient runner. And then they have a lot of skill, and they're massive in the offensive line. So the challenge is going to be huge. It's a huge challenge, but, hey, that's why we're playing the SEC.
Questions? Yeah, just a guy like Trevor Knight, you played a couple of quarterbacks that can move around. How much does that help prepare, at least for the guy that can run around and make throws?
It does. Now, this is a little different offense, in that this offense is full wide based, not three wide based. So it's a little bit different in terms of the presentation of what they do and how they do it. And obviously then there's additional speed on the field. So you got to be able to match that speed and not allow them to get they're a big what we call RPO team, run pass option. So they'll give a play action fake and have routes on one side and a screen on the other. And so you got to be able to execute to the right, to the left, and be sound in the middle. And so it's a little bit different schematically than the first two.
Kevin, how much better does he look than when you faced him at Alabama back in the
Well, I don't know if I can remember that far back, but he looks good. But that night he looked good too.
There's a lot of analysis that their wide receiver core is the best receiver core in the country. I know you faced them last year. Do you think they're at that level that they could be the best receiver core in the country?
Well, I don't know because it's not like the NFL where you see everybody all the time. So I'd be wrong if I just ventured out and said that because I don't see the West Coast teams. I will say this: they're a very, very impressive group, and just to watch them, it would be. I don't know how you could put together 4 or 5 guys that would present any more problems than they do. I mean, they're very, very good. I know this: you could probably make that statement and have a chance to be right.
Problems he presents, how difficult does it make it because he can do everything that a wide receiver needs to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, but there's more than him there too. I mean, in terms of they can do those kind of things. They've got kind of they're built the analogy, they're kind of built like a basketball team. They got a point guard, they got a shooting guard, they got a three, they got a post player. I mean, they've got it all. They didn't get them all alike. They've got them all, and they utilize that.
Can you talk about the running backs?
Yeah, they're. I faced those guys, obviously last year where I was, and I mean they're very downhill running, hard running guys, and they've got a lot of speed in terms of back speed, and they have the ability. They've shown the ability to, the jump cut where they can run up in your face and skip, jump, and be wide open in a step. They're talented too. I mean, like I said, I can stand here and keep going over all of them, but the only one we left out is the offensive line, and they're massive, and they've got some very, very good players there. I mean, they're a talented group.
How has Derek Brown come along these first 2 games for you?
Derek is a very talented young man, but like I said, I think a couple of times before, I think the thing that he's done, he's so emotionally mature, and he is mentally mature. He's physically mature. That's the trifecta. It's rare as a freshman to have all three of those. But then I think the thing that, since we've talked about him last, is that he's gotten actual meaningful game reps. And when you watch those reps, he's improved and improved and improved. And so he does some things sometimes that he's a very gifted young man.
How far up in the rotation has he sort of moved at defensive tackle?
Well, when you watch us play, Rodney's got a pretty good rotation going there with them, and there's no real set thing to it. I mean, they're all becoming about equal. I mean, they can go at any point in time, and they go early. So I don't know that we really, with that group, say this is first, second, or third. It's just next man up and keep them fresh, which has helped us.
To watch him and Derek and then Andrew Williams, see them make plays. Those, as you guys coach, how important is it to see those guys stepping up and getting in the backfield and kind of creating some havoc?
Well, it's critical in that we've talked before in this room about the number of guys that we've got and the number of guys that we're going to play, and they've played well. Now, are they perfect? And are we still got to refine our skill sets. But the thing that it is allowing us to do is it's allowing us to keep them fresh. And in this day and age of no huddle, hurry up offenses, to keep defensive line fresh and have enough to do it without the talent level dropping is a huge advantage. It helps us.
Do you anticipate that road to be back in the rotation at defensive tackle this week?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that in a game like this, with what A&M likes to do, that Marshall Taylor's got to be able to help you in some way on Saturday?
We certainly, he's practiced well. He's come along. I mean, we keep forgetting sometimes that he's not had that many practices, and I mean, very few really. But he's picked it up very well. He's obviously got in the other night and did some things well. So we need to be able to have corners that can do the same thing to defensive line, keep them fresh, because they run a lot. They run a lot.
What is his skill set? Josh Wilsey was talking about how his arm is very long for a cornerback, but what is Marshall?
Yeah, he's got good ball skills. He's got good ball skills. He's long, and so it's hard to get off press coverage with him. And then he runs good. He's a mentally tough guy too. He can play the next play.
I was just going to ask about Carl Lawson. We talked to Dante Russell the other day, and he said that, a lot of times he can do things that obviously don't show up on the stat sheet. I'm just curious how you feel about his first team versus Carl.
The first couple? Yeah, I mean, Carl is obsessive compulsive about the game of football, and that's a great thing. So, he's harder on himself than any of us could ever be. He thinks that if they throw it 10 times, he ought to have 6 sacks, and that's a good thing. But he's been very productive. His numbers will come. I mean, he's been very productive, and he's done his job. Now, does that always show up on, like the other day, one of the sacks that happened, he got one, but one of them that happened because of him.
How do you feel about the play Trey Matthews through the first 2 games?
Trey has been really good at probably, I mean, we knew the skill set that he had. He's a physical guy. He's tackled well for us. He comes to work every day with a spirit to get better and affect others in a positive way around him, and that's a good thing. But he's also done a really good job of quarterbacking things. He's schematically, he's on top of it.
Kevin, linebacker play, what do you see out of that group from week 1 to week 2, especially getting, Darryl was obviously involved, Montavious Jackson a little bit more involved too.
Right. Well, I think Travis has done a really nice job with those guys. I mean, they were the thing that, in the introductory press conference, I think that came up pretty quick in it, what are you going to do at linebacker? And I think those guys have really done a nice job of doing their job. They've been good downhill and fitting on the run game. And so in the pass game, they've done what we asked them to do. So they've done a nice job. Now, are we where we need to be? No. Well, they would tell you that. We got a lot of improvement to go, a lot.
You see their confidence grow with every
Oh yeah, yeah. They come ready to work every day. It's not too big for them. The game is not too big for them. You make an adjustment, they're corrected.
Kevin, immediately after the game on the post-game radio show, Wes said that he thought that Steve Roberts was tremendous in his first game back. Is that what you saw too after you got a chance to look at the film?
Well, the first thing is, I'm kind of smiling here because you do know that Wesley and I spend all day together, so whatever he said, I'm going to agree with. All right, but I do agree with that. I mean, I thought Stephen, he brought an energy level to it and tried to do his job, and he's a physical guy. He tries to tackle. He's got his coverage skill sets are higher than what people may think.
When you look back through your career and John Chavis, your good buddy, how important was Johnny Majors in both of your lives getting you started?
Well, I don't know if he got it started because we go back further than that.
Well, talk about your coaching career.
The coaching career. Coach Majors had a great effect on both of us in terms of, number one, he's the old school guy, tough guy, hard-nosed guy that made you accountable and responsible as a player. Expected it every day, and there were no excuses. And when you started as a graduate assistant with him, it was the same way. He expected you to know exactly what was going on in the field and be able to teach it at a young age. Coach he was like this with John and I, and that if he walked up on the practice field and said, "Hey, what's the safety got there?" and John's working with the defensive line, and I'm working with the linebackers, we better be able to tell him, or you'd get lit up in a positive way. And so he made you accountable and responsible in a good way. So.
He told me that you took meticulous notes. That was his thing. For always bring a paper, pencil.
Yeah, I still do that. I still take down. I've got reams and reams and reams of notebooks from Coach Bowden, Coach Osborne, Coach Majors, and others that daily notes what they said, how they said it. But I learned in school when you're not very smart, you better take good notes. So I just kind of did it as a coach.
Anything else? All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.